What's up? It's Ax from Ready Check Pool. Here again, podcast number 26. How you doing, Jim? We're here with Jim as usual. How you doing?
What's up? It's Jim. That's how you always start. I'm doing good, dude. I'm doing good.
I don't know what I'm doing, dude.
What's up?
What's up? It's me. It's your boy Zax.
Yeah, dude. My
yeah.
week's been a little crazy, dude. We got week number 1 in the books. Week number 2 has just been started. So yeah, it's been a blasting, if you know what I'm saying. Also a little bit of work outside of that stuff makes things a little hectic, but we've been getting it done.
Yeah, dude. I'm actually like, the more I think about it, I was just thinking about how these past 2 weeks, it's been like really nice to not have to like totally bust your ass to like keep up and whatever. You can play alts and everything's been great. But dude, time has been flying. It's been 2 weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
Big Span came out. I feel like I just leveled.
I've been waiting 3 years for 2 weeks ago, and it's already gone. You know what I'm saying?
It's over.
Like,
now the raid's about to come out.
It's
Dude, so fast. This 2 weeks just went by. I didn't even think about that.
Yep.
And I don't know. If we were just like grinding AP the entire time, might be the same. But yeah, big 2 weeks. It's been a blast. Shadowlands is looking pretty sick. You know, there's some craziness going on. Experiments, one might say. Blizzard is doing, there's some big stuff going on in the Shadowlands that's really good and also really, kind of scary. Maybe it'll be good. I don't know, but it's like taking a risk. So we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, sorry, this podcast is a little bit late, dude.
It's my fault. My
little
fault as
Saturday.
always. Either Zax is dead or it's Jim's fault. So yeah, I got some outside work outside of the normal World of Warcraft shit. So you know how it is. Everyone knows how it is. They all understand.
Yeah. So yeah, a little Saturday. Usually we do this on Fridays. You guys all know that. And yeah, we're just talking about what me and Jim have been talking about all week. Just whatever comes to mind. We don't have a big plan this week, so we're just talking about what's been happening, what's coming up, maybe some predictions for the raid, maybe talk about what we think's gonna happen and all that stuff. But yeah, if you're watching this live, send us in questions and comments. Try to get to them. Maybe toward the end or as we go along. But yeah. Same old, dude.
Hell yeah.
Dude, oh my god. I'm so happy along the lines of time flying. I am so happy that we did everything as early as we possibly could, bro.
With the videos? Yeah. 100%.
I would be dude. I would
imagine if we were like right in the boat right now that we know some other people are that they're having to play, keep up, make sure they're doing all the stuff that they have to do in the game. They also have families and stuff like that, but also have to be putting in the work to make the guides. Oh, I would be miserable right now. I would be so miserable.
Yep. It'd be rough. Cause like the amount of time that if you're just playing one character, right? Like you can, the amount that you have to do, so to speak, is like, it's pretty chill. You don't really have to do much. But the amount of stuff, like if you're trying to be optimal with that one character, you can spend a lot more time. But then dude, the amount of simming and stuff and like trying to figure out what the fuck, like what covenant are we supposed to play? What legendary am I supposed to make? Am I supposed to make a legendary? When do I make the legendary?
Yeah, why is that a thing? Dude, like why are we talking about should I make a legendary? It's so that's so bonkers to me. And dude, all right, let's start off before we go into like the legendary and covenant and simming.
Okay.
Can we talk about what the fuck THD is doing in the mall right now? Like he is, dude, he said he's spending all of his time in the mall so that he has more sockets than everyone else in his guild, which is the best guild in the world, all doing the same shit. He is literally spending like 16 hours a day with all his spread across all his characters in the mall. How awful dude, I can't even spend an hour in there before I hate myself.
Well, dude,
yeah. What?
Well, it's weird to think like what I've been seeing. Yeah, because you have like world first people.
They have no upgrade.
Yeah, they have like 7 warlocks or 7 of whatever spec they want to play. They're all like multi-boxing, whatever, and they're just like all in raid groups together. It's like there'll be 7 warlocks of the same guy, 7 DKs of the same guy. They're all in a raid group together, just running around multi-boxing them all. Like, nothing is a threat whatsoever because there's so many people that, like, the difficulty of the maw has become irrelevant. They just run from on their map, they have a star for each rare. They just run from star to star, kill each rare in no time because they have 7 million people walking around, and then you get full rewards despite being in a
Yeah.
raid. So it's like
Yeah.
the maw is a joke to them. You know what I mean? Like if you're in a raid
Okay.
group, the maw is nothing. So yeah, they're just like farming rep, farming Stygia. They're probably
Yeah,
doing some
what
cheese
John Claude
stuff.
say that Genji has 6 hunters?
Yeah. And they're all like equally geared,
Come
ready to
on,
go.
like it's so this
It
is
is
what's so
wild.
good about Shadowlands is that you really can do that because you're done with your character so fast. Dude, I was Wednesday, I was done for the week.
Yeah.
When has that been a thing? I felt
Yeah.
so good that I could like go in and I could mess around with Torghast if I want to. I could start working on rotation stuff. I could figure more stuff out with the raid, which we're going to talk about later. We found a couple cool things out, but like so excited that I'm able to be done with my character and move on. And I know there's a lot of people who tell you that you can min max in other ways, but man, it's a great feeling. It is a fantastic feeling. Some people are doing real degenerate shit, but that's because they're able to. It's not because they have
Yeah.
to. So much better. So much better.
Yeah, you don't have to at all. Yeah, they're talking about like because of the way like, if you have 6 hunters or whatever, and you're in a world first guild or whatever, you do 6 male splits or whatever they do all this crazy stuff. You end up just playing the hunter that gets the best RNG loot 'cause you're not gonna be able to trade anything really. So you just like
Yep.
you roll the dice 6 times on 6 characters, and then you just pick the one that got the best loot, and now that's your hunter, and you leave all the
Oh,
other ones
Genji
behind.
3 got 4 sockets. Let's we're gonna be Genji 3, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Come
Yeah, dude, it's
on.
wild. The fact that you can do that, you don't have to do that, but the fact that you can is just wild. Like that in Legion and BFA, dude. Imagine playing more than one character in Legion and BFA. It was
Oh
a
my god. Oh yeah.
struggle to
Oh
play
my no
two.
way. Oh, no way. With the artifact power and your neck had to be up and then going into island. Oh, don't even. Okay, I'm done. Just the world quest grind.
Yeah.
Oh, it's such a bad feeling even thinking about it now, dude. I've been scrolling through, going down the YouTube rabbit hole as, every time a new expansion's out, you want to see everyone's opinions and thoughts. And I've been going down and I see all the PvE people. Like, I swear, I don't hear a negative thing from a single PvE person. So what I did, being, the masochist that I am, is that I went and started looking up PvP. I don't know why, but I just started doing it. So Zaryu, and then there's Volts. There's another dude that I've been it's all made shit. Sorry guys, but like I've been like looking up all these dudes. They all say Shadowlands is like the best expansion for PvP right now, as well as the PvE are saying it's like the best expansion that they have had in forever for
That's
PvE.
crazy.
Shadowlands is fucking taken off, brother. Critically acclaimed, coming in hot. Fucking strap in, dude, because this is gonna be a good one. I'm so happy about it.
Yeah. It's weird. It's weird how that's one thing that's been like really really strange to see on Twitter and stuff. Maybe we talked about this last week, but the fact that usually like the high end community, whether it's rating Mythic Plus or PvP, they're all like universally complaining about something cuz like Blizzard makes weird decisions, and there's like obviously stuff wrong with the game, so everybody just focuses on the things that are wrong, and everybody just it's like a negative storm, you know what I mean? The community gets kind of down, and we do that too, I
Yep.
do at least. And
Everyone's
but
human.
it's weird. This expansion so far, it's been yeah, like you said, nothing but positive. There is no negative storm. Some people like me don't like the maw, but like I don't even have to do the maw. So it's like,
Yeah, that's
what?
it. Yes.
Who cares? So
Yes.
I don't like it.
Yes.
I don't even have to do it. It's like maybe I don't like Torghast, but you don't have to do Torghast all day. You just do it once and you're done. So
You
like
don't
it
like
doesn't matter how
Torghast?
much you hate it. No, I do. But I'm saying even if I didn't like it, you only have to do it twice or
Yeah.
whatever a
And
week,
you can
and
do it
then
with
you're
a
done for the
group.
week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You get carried through it if you don't. It's like you don't have to grind things to do Torghast. Like the fact they got rid of like there was gonna be a currency that you had to get from the mall to go into Torghast, and you had to get keys like you had to do with visions.
Remember how
Can you
pissed I was
imagine if
about
that was
that?
in?
Oh my god,
Imagine
I
how
was
pissed
so
I would
upset.
be.
I would be, dude. Listen, if you had to, first off, if you had to grind Torghast like you had to grind Islands, it would be the worst thing in the world. But the
Yeah.
fact is that you can go in whenever you want and just chill out if you want, try a few crazy builds, and have a gosh darn blast. It's so perfect, dude.
Yeah.
There are some broken things. We're gonna see some major balance changes, after heroic week. Like there's some crazy outliers. Like Rogue is like disgusting right now in PvP. Like disgusting. Like I'm talking like in 3 seconds they kill every single class. It's
Using a
absolutely wild.
yeah,
Um,
using a BFA trinket.
oh yeah, the dress the gas. That is the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it's just
so
weird.
like yeah, it's super crazy that Rogue, but it's kind of balanced because rogues are struggling in Torghast.
Yeah.
Fucking struggling, dude. They are crawling through asking friends for help. It's like it's really bad for them in Torghast. But I guess subtlety is like really blasting a Mythic Plus too. So yeah, there's gonna be a lot of like balance changes. I know Destruction is doing super well in Mythic Zeros. Not Mythic Plus, sorry. Mythic Zeros, and then there's few mages. A few mage specs are doing good in Mythic Zeros. Hunters are doing crazy in Mythic Zeros. Paladins, prop paladins, not rat. Sorry guys. Prop paladins doing amazing. Vengeance DH doing amazing. So all that shit's gonna get balanced. Those classes are gonna get nerfed and buffed or whatever. What do you think about the balance? How's it affected you these past 2 weeks?
Uh,
And what do you think's gonna happen about it? Like, do you think they're just gonna start smashing people with the Nerf bat?
well, okay, so this is like the question I've been asking. Been trying to wrap my head around it, right, for like the past couple weeks. I think I asked it last week. It's like, okay, would you rather, Blizzard leaves the tuning how it is? It's like, whatever, it's close enough. Just leave it how it is. All the preparation I've been doing, and I've been planning for marksmanship to be the best spec, and this is the build. Just leave it alone so that my preparation makes sense. Left, okay. Uh, hey, welcome.
Whoops, I hit the
Or
wrong button.
unmuted, and so leave everything alone to have my preparation be cool, or nerf and buff things, the outliers, so to speak, to make the game more balanced and make things, some things more viable or whatever. Like make a generally like a better game or whatever, however you want to say it, a more balanced game. And that's been the question for the past 2 weeks. People trying to figure out which side they fall on, kind of. And now we're gonna see, and I'm pretty sure that it's been like confirmed, through the grapevine of people know people, and they heard a rumor from a guy that works at Blizzard, or who knows if it's true, but there will be tuning. If I had to let the record show, you know what I mean. If I had to bet, there will be tuning after heroic, maybe even before heroic. I don't even know, but definitely there's going to be tuning. I don't know how extreme it's going to be. If they're just going to do like aura buffs and nerfs, if they're going to actually get into the nitty gritty, like nerf Venthyr for Frost Mage or something like that. Which is
Are there any
a
like outliers that you're seeing right
clear
now that like
outlier.
absolutely need either buffs or nerfs?
Well, I don't know. It's kind of tricky because
We don't
in
have the
beta, like
we don't have the log data right now.
yeah, we don't have logs. We don't have like evidence. All we have is sims, really. Or if you played beta and you know what was going on in beta, you kind of have an idea for Mythic Plus. But even then, it's not really like statistics. It's just like memory. Like the balance wasn't even close in beta. So it's like, all right, things didn't change enough from then. So it's definitely not going to be close in lives. And now the sims are saying it's not close at all. There's
Yeah.
30% difference between, I don't know, Havoc Demon Hunter and Unholy Death Knight, which is like, okay, it's a sim. There's shenanigans going on, but 30%?
Yeah.
That I don't know if they've ever
Yeah.
been 30% different. So,
Yeah.
the balance is not there. Like, and what's weird is people get so hung up on the side of like, no, balance is fine. Like, just leave it how it is because I prepared for this to be how it is. Like, World First Guilds are like really super preparing for like current tuning. and like maybe trying to predict what tuning might happen. But they have 18 hunters because hunter is busted, and so they don't want hunter to get nerfed because they're 18 hunters deep. You know what I mean? Like they're invested into that being broken, so they don't want to see nerfs because that's going to mess up their preparation.
But
Which
that's so
I understand,
selfish though, dude. That's so
but
selfish, bro. If you're a fucking havoc demon hunter, you're not looking at it that way. You're not sitting there saying, "Hey, I prepped. Let me let me stay havoc demon hunter all the way down here at the bottom." Like no
yeah,
one's,
yeah, yeah,
no one's excited about that. But like obviously if you prepared like a Marks Hunter, if you paired some subtlety rogues, you got unholy DK, balanced druids, like yeah, you're gonna be like, hey, leave it the way it is. We wanna face roll. But bro, there's so many specs right now that are like assassination, dude. We have friends, shout out to DJ Stinky, who are like hoping that there's balance changes for assassin.
yeah,
Absolutely like pleading that happens. He's not making his legendary because of that fact. Obviously, there's some other factors, but he wants to know if he's going to have to switch over to subtlety or outlaw or something. Because right now,
yeah.
assassination ain't it, dude.
It's not it. It's literally, you could say whatever you want about the design. You don't like the design, all their damage is builders instead of spenders or whatever. You can get into the nitty gritty, but like it's just an aura. Like they literally just need like a 10%. I don't know what the number is, but 10%. It's just weird stuff going on. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like I
right
think it
now
makes a
they're
lot
a
of sense.
1,000 DPS on the. First off, I don't trust these sims. There's so much shit that gets busted with these. The APLs could be slightly off that are just whacking things out. I don't know if they're using the right stats, the right talent builds. Who knows what the fuck they're doing, right? But right now, on the random data that we do have, and some testimonial from assassination rogues, personal shit and doing dungeons or whatever, assassination is like 1,000 DPS behind Unholy Death Knight. Like, that's
Which is
too
a lot
much. That's
because
too much when the max is 4,700. You're
yeah,
one quarter away, dude. Like,
and
yeah,
and the the margin of error in Sims right now is 2.
yeah, two, yeah,
Yeah,
two
that's how
DPS.
that's the numbers we're working with.
Yeah, so that's
That
so
cracks me up.
it's pretty bad. Like so I really do hope that they just buff the ones that are at the bottom. I don't want them to nerf the top because it really sucks for people who pick their covenant and then that covenant gets nerfed. They already bought their legendary, but then they nerf that legendary. That would be really bad for Blizzard to do. Obviously, if there's something that's way out of fucking whack, they have to. But like I would
Well,
much rather
okay.
them pick the bottom up, right? Like I don't know. That's what I
Yeah, I
think.
think yeah, I mean, I think that's like everybody would say they prefer the bottom to be brought up for sure. I'm gonna agree with that. I think everybody does. Like you want the bad specs to be brought up.
Yep.
That's priority number one. But it gets to a certain extent where like I don't know what spec it's gonna be, but like it sounds like marksmanship hunter is gonna get nerfed, and they probably should because the Sims might not say they're busted, but like if you know what's what, you know that they're busted. It's just
Yep.
insane how strong they are. So they probably should be brought down. It's like, well, if there's a really broken spec that's doing 30% more damage than everything else, it's like, okay, is the problem with that spec or is it with everything else? It's like, well, the odds are it's just that thing is overtuned. So it's
Yep.
like, I don't know. It's a lot more from like Blizzard's perspective. It's way, way more complicated to buff all of the bad things up to the like overpowered thing. It's way, way easier to just Unholy Death Knight, for instance, maybe. Maybe it's just 30% ahead or some shit like that. Just nerf it by 20, 25%. It's still the best. It's just not 30, 20, 30% ahead. You know what I mean? So like and they keep saying things like that where they're like, all right, we're planning on taking care of outliers where if they're talking about like a covenant or a conduit or whatever or a legendary, they're like, we're going to be real careful about tuning where if you have a best legendary that's like 10% ahead of all your other legendaries, we're going to nerf that legendary so that it's 2% ahead instead of 10. It's still
Yep.
ahead. It's still your best legendary, but it's not like miles away so that you're not like if you choose the wrong one, you're not like absolutely screwed. So, and that totally makes sense. They keep saying that. I don't know if they're going to be able to hit that mark, but that makes a lot of sense to me. So, I don't
Yeah,
know. It's
same.
kinda I'm kind of
I want
scared
to.
as to what they're gonna do, but I would rather them balance than not, because we can always
Well, anyone
adapt.
who's saying that they shouldn't balance is that's just like that's super selfish, right? That just means that you have, which they can, it's their game or it's their fun, so let them, express it however they want. But like, it's pretty selfish because not everyone has the ability to play any class at any time all day, right? So it's
Yeah.
someone has to. Most people have to pick. Like I'm going to play this class, and then they work their way up to be competitive. But let me give you just an example. Right now, the Sims are saying that single target that Havoc Demon Hunter is doing 3,600 damage, where Crop Paladin is doing 3,300 damage. Okay? So
Uh,
you're better off being a Crop Paladin in the raid than a Havoc Demon Hunter for damage.
yeah, pretty much.
Shout out to Heavy, dude. God bless that dude for sticking through it. Holy.
Yeah.
Every guild needs one. So if your guild has one, make sure you appreciate that person because that person is sacrificing right now for you.
Yeah.
Absolutely sacrificing.
So, I think, obviously we're forming opinions, we're talking about stuff before heroic logs are out, right? And I think, Sims are decent, but obviously they're not the end all be all. I think heroic, even though like a lot of people won't have legendaries still, which is probably the right call. Uh, I think it's gonna show some like pretty bad balancing. Like I don't think people really understand because of we don't have the statistics. All we have is Sims and dungeons or whatever. The balancing is not good, and it's easy to say that like they should go easy on the nerfing and the buffing right now because you don't know. But when you see it, I feel like when we see the balance next week, it's gonna be bad, dude. It's gonna be really bad, and we're gonna be happy that they're doing balance.
Yep.
I don't know. That's just what I think. That's what I want to
Yeah, I
happen.
agree.
So whatever. Now I guess I'm biased, but I'm super interested to see what the balancing ends up looking
Yep, same.
like.
Totally.
I don't know.
I think so as well. Yeah, so I mean that's basically everything that's going on with the balancing of the classes. There's just a few outliers that are like so far ahead, it's just ridiculous. And then there's a few outliers that are so far behind, it's ridiculous. And then there's the middle of the pack that no one gives a shit about, which is
And there is a lot that's in the middle of the pack. You know
yeah,
what I
it's a
mean?
big middle, but it's like, there's four or five up top and 4 or 5 at the bottom, that's bad. Like that's not balanced.
Yeah,
So
right. It's
we
not
gotta
not
we gotta we
quite
gotta
it.
figure that out, Blizzard. We're here
But
to
then
help.
then there then you can also dig into like within a class or within a spec balances like what's going on with Frost Mage. We like me and Jim were just talking. Well, we'll been talking about this all week because we're both mages
Oh,
trying to figure out what to do. But there's every for every spec, Frost, Fire, and Arcane. Um, there's only one mistake that you can make, really, like big mistake.
oh, it's
And
a big
that's
one.
if you're a Frost Mage and you're not Venthyr. It's a huge, like, 8% DPS mistake.
Yep.
It's just a crazy outlier. If you're any other spec, you can play whatever covenant you want pretty much. You'll only be, like, maybe 2%. If you make the wrong choice, you'll be
Maximum is like I
2%
think
off.
3% is what we came up with like if you're picked the worst of the worst in a different form, not being Frost, single target, Venthyr.
Yeah, but yeah. So if you're playing Frost and you're anything other than Venthyr, you're just like 7-8% damage behind, and like depending on the situation, might be more or less whatever. But you are behind significantly,
It's
especially in the
so
raid.
far off. That is so far
It's
off.
bad.
That's like I don't know,
So
like every class or has their the balance where you're like which is what is acceptable. And for right now, the reason why we're even talking about this is because we're Night Fae. Both of us are Night Fae because that's decent for every spec. It's good for Mythic Plus, for Frost, but it's looking like there's a very good chance that Frost is the play in Heroic week coming up on Tuesday. And so if Frost is the play, Castle Nathria is mostly single target. So that means that you have to be Frost single target unless you're going to switch,
yeah,
but you're not going to be doing that in Mythic because you're only going to have 1 or 2 legendaries. You're not going to be able to switch like that
Well,
going back and forth. You're also not going to have the stats to be able to
right.
switch back and forth on all your gear. So you got to make a decision. And if you're going to go with Frost because it's better on most of the fights, you're going to have to do Frost single target. There's no other option. You literally cannot do anything else other than Venthyr, or you might as well play Fire or Arcane and just forget Frost.
Right. Yeah. So, you got outliers between specs of like, maybe marksmanship is crazy, maybe unholy's crazy, whatever they are, rogues, I don't know. But we'll see how it plays out. But there's even little things in specs. So I'm curious. Like I want them to, I'm the kind of guy. I see what is going. Anyway, I see Vinthier's 8% ahead of every other covenant for Frost. I'm like, I want to make that a little more even. I don't think they're gonna buff every other covenant to be equal to Venthyr, so they should probably do something. Maybe Ventyr's still the best, but instead of 8% ahead, maybe it's 2% ahead. It's still the best covenant.
Yep.
Hopefully they hit the mark on that kind of stuff. And they could do something really simple, like instead of getting brain freeze procs, it gives you fingers of frost procs.
Yep.
They don't even have to change any numbers. They just changed which proc you get, and like they probably solve the issue. So I don't know. I feel like we're about to see some wild balance changes after heroic, and once we see the data, the logs, the statistics, you know, I feel like it's gonna make a lot of sense.
Yeah,
I don't
me
know.
too.
Anyway, but dude, speaking of us talking about Mage all week, bro, uh, we wanted to tell you guys. I mean, we kind of knew it was coming, but oh my god, it is so stressful and like brain I don't twisting to figure out what you should play as a mage. Some specs like, my alt is a windwalker. You only want one covenant and you only want one legendary and you want your stats. You don't even have another spec you can play. It's really simple. You have a game plan, everything's cool. Okay, cool. But as a mage, dude, you might be playing Frostfire or Arcane. You want Venthyr for Frost. You want probably Night Fae for the other two, but it's looking like Frost might be the play. So you don't want to be Night Fae, but if you're Venthyr and you have to play Fire Arcane, you're behind. You want to be, and then legendaries like because you only have you're gonna be able to make maybe 2 next week, 3 Mythic week, 4, on and on, or you'll be able to have 4 after the second week of Mythic. You're having to like decide so many things, and it's so restrictive. It's crazy.
Bro, long story short, the simming is out of control right now. It
Yeah,
is
it's bad.
it is like, bro, I haven't had this much of like mind issues, like just mind like fatigue, like just like you get off the computer and you're like, am I dreaming? Like, is this life? Like, I don't want to think about anything. I don't want to make decisions. I haven't had this since trigonometry in high school. Okay, like this is some next level AP calculus type shit where you have to fucking, all right, so if I'm on one target and I'm Frost and I'm Venthyr and I got this legendary with this conduit and this soulbind, then my DPS is this. If I switch one thing, then maybe I'm gonna have to go switch it with all this, and then if I want to go Fire and Frost and then my talents, and holy shit, dude, it is the worst thing in the world. And then some random dude comes out with, oh, I found the secret sauce. And then he has like a spec that uses something like fucking Ray of Frost that hasn't been used since 1982. And we're sitting there like, now we got to sim Ray of Frost. What does that do? Like, there's just some wild shit going on. Always exciting at the beginning of expansion, but it's very mind fatiguing.
Well,
It's insane.
yeah, and I think what adds to it is it's like, okay, if you had access to all this stuff, you could change your covenant, you could change your soulbind, you can change your conduit, you can change your legendary, all at the drop of a hat. You would have all of this simming, but you like choosing one or the other, you wouldn't feel as like attached to it or like anxious about it. But the fact that you don't have all your legendaries, and you definitely can't have upgraded versions of all of them, which by the way, upgrading them is probably 1% DPS per upgrade, which is not nothing. You don't have all your legendaries. You might not even have all your conduits upgraded. You can't change your covenant, obviously. Like choosing which one you're going to go for the entire raid, basically, is just so mind-boggling, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
if you want to save your sanity,
oh my
my
god.
big suggestion right now, because Aimbot just said it in the chat. He said like there's a good chance that there's a ton of shit missing from the APLs anyways, so they might even
Yeah.
be simming slightly off because we don't have enough data like Warcraft logs to say if things are correct, right? So like if you want to stay sane and not melt your brain, just wait till like Thursday. Just wait till Thursday. Heroic will be out. There's no more guesswork. Now we know what's working and what's not working, and we can just move from there and start maximizing whatever is working, right? And
Yeah.
that, you know, if you're not crazy like this, I enjoy the shit out of this. I think Zax does too. Like I enjoy the shit out of this, so I'm willing to. You know, this is why we do the raid bosses and shit too. Like, we love digging into problems. We love digging into puzzles. We love figuring out the little minutia that happens. And then, you know, kind of just being happy that we gotta, you know, step above the people who aren't doing the work. But ultimately, we could just wait till Thursday, and then everyone, you know, all the data is going to be there. We're going to know exactly what we should have done, and we're also going to know if we're right, which is kind of cool too.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's very true. Can I say this is I'm gonna say this is the official advice from Ready Check Pool, and you correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
Uh, for this coming week, heroic and normal. Uh, just have fun, yo. Don't okay. First of all, wait before I get there. Don't make a legendary. This is my advice. You know, you
If
don't
you
have to
already
do this.
did,
You want to
if you already
if you
did,
want to
it's
make a
not the end of the
legendary.
world. It's
Yeah,
not the
it's
end of the
not a big
world.
deal. Just make a legendary. If it's simming, you know, and it's crazy, and you know it's the spec. You want to play that spec, and this is your best legendary in all situations. You're probably fine. Like as a Windwalker, well, I don't even have access to it, but like
If you did.
once I get once I get my best legendary, make it. Screw it. You're almost certainly going to be using that legendary. And if you're not, you can already make a second one next week. So you're not losing out if you make a legendary now. But I would suggest not making a legendary until after the tuning because there will be tuning after heroic. Blizzard
Yep.
just does crazy whatever they're
The
gonna do. Who
Tuesday
knows?
after heroic.
Yeah, maybe they tell us over the weekend and we find out. But I would suggest not making a legendary, just enjoying heroic for what it is. Don't worry about trying to parse, you know, even trying to be the right covenant. Just stick with what you got. Play what you want to play in heroic. You know, try to whatever you want to play, just optimize it. Do what you're gonna do. Don't don't make a decision that you can't take back. Let's put it that way. Don't change covenants. Don't make a legendary. Blah blah blah. Just enjoy heroic. Try to learn the fights. Do what you got to do. Watch a guide. You know. Uh, that's my suggestion. I'm not gonna make a legendary. It sometimes it makes sense. Like for mage, maybe it makes sense to make the lust legendary. It's pretty good for every spec. You know, you're probably gonna use it on some fights. I don't know, but there's no reason. Just chill. You got plenty of time to clear heroic. You
Yep.
know, you got
I was one of
probably
those people that
about
he's
5
talking to
months.
right now
I
because
was
I
too.
would.
I wanted to
Yeah,
make a legendary so bad.
I'm
I
talking to
wanted to make a
myself.
legendary. Dude, I wanted to make a legendary so bad.
Yeah,
So bad. But
I got
it's just
everything. I got that
there's
quest
really
done. It's like glowing.
no
It's sticking out on me. Like I look at it when I will go to Torghast. It's like that question mark is there, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I want to do it.
yeah.
But you know, the common sense is that ultimately heroic week is going to be a clusterfuck anyways, regardless of where your guild's at. It's going to be pretty clusterfucky because there's going to be so much bonker shit going on and people trying to scramble to figure things out. Then they got mechanics coming in and you're going to die if you're going to try to max DPS because you're not, you know, pay attention to mechanics, be that guy, be mechanically solid. Wait until
Yeah.
after heroic balance, get the right legendary, and then it's smooth sailing because now you already know all the mechanics. Now you already know you got the right legendary. You're just ready to blast. And I think that that's the
Right.
smartest thing you can do if you want, like, if I had 2% more willpower, or less fucks given, I should say, not willpower. If I had 2%
Yeah.
less fucks given, I would have made my legendary and I would be happier than a pig in shit. But I didn't. So I'm going to wait and I'm going to try to set an example for my guild. And you know, I'm going to suck it up and just, you know, be the big man that everyone keeps telling me I have to be. So that's the
Yeah,
advice from
and
Ready Check Pull. I sign off on it as well.
right, and you'll hear the same thing from probably every content creator saying like it's just the nerds, that aren't gonna make their legendaries. It's like, well, uh, I don't know how to summarize it, but like if you make a legendary, you'll probably be fine. But our advice: do not make a legendary until after heroic week. After you see what the tuning is, then make your legendary. You're not losing much at all from not making one. You have several weeks to make up for what you potentially lost, which was probably nothing. So if you do, it's fine, but we recommend
Well,
not
so
doing it.
there is that. There's so
That's the
again,
advice.
there are people like there's I don't even know how to say that. Contradicalized. Weird.
What
So
the?
yeah, so he's basically saying that not making legendaries because you're gonna have roughly like 25 to 30 people with an extra bunch of eye levels, right? So it's whatever it is, fucking 30 eye levels higher, something like that. Adds up a lot in a raid. So if your guild is a guild that could struggle on bosses and you just want to have fun or whatever, then fucking just make the legendary. It's not the end of the world. It's like you're gonna be able to remake it next week with whatever soul ash you got. You're gonna and then the week after that you're gonna be able to rank one of them up or rank both of them up, or I don't fucking know how it's gonna work exactly. We actually have a little piece of paper we pasted in the Ready Check Pull Discord with Zax's little number crunching, so you'll know exactly like what you're supposed to be doing. So if your guild is going to struggle and there is chance that it would be less of a good experience for you, then just make the legendary. If your guild isn't in that situation and your guild is able to get through the content in a timely fashion, even if you're not able to get through the content, who gives a shit? You're going to be 1 week behind. Literally, you'll be 1 week behind. Instead of killing the boss, next week you're gonna kill it the week after. Who gives a shit, right? Like,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
it's either way, it's fine. If you're trying to, min max a little bit, just have fun, relax, chill with your. Like Zax was considering getting a legendary and going Venthyr from Night Fae. Those would have been two decisions that are
Yeah.
huge. Those are
Yep.
huge decisions. You gotta wait on
Yeah.
those type of decisions if you're unsure. But if you're 1,000%, then fucking do it, bro. No
Yeah, there's
worries.
really not much. Yeah, you lose out on week one parses. Like what are you losing
Listen,
out on?
week one is any chance to rank one is a chance. So
Yo, yeah. So I had this idea. Speaking of rank one parses, I had this idea. I don't think it's a good idea, but I think it's a funny idea. Okay, so bear with me here,
yeah,
which I already talked to you about it. So you already know. But okay, Warcraft logs, right? We all love it. We all love the parses. It is what it is. Maybe you don't love it. Anyway, so right now, or how it's been forever, you get a parse. If you're a frost mage, you get a frost mage parse. Easy squeezy. You're just compared to all frost mages. That makes sense. But now, uh, they've introduced these subclasses, as they like to call them, which they're not. But whatever. You have covenants. So when it comes to parses, you know, does it make sense now if you're a frost mage, if you're a Venthyr frost mage, should you be compared to a Night Fae frost mage? I feel like the idea that I had is maybe that doesn't make sense. Maybe you should get a Venthyr frost mage parse, and you're only compared to Venthyr frost. You know what I'm saying?
it's a
Uh,
wacky idea.
I
It's such
it's
a
crazy. It's crazy, right?
I don't know if
Yeah,
wacky's the right word, but it's definitely something that's out of left field that you wouldn't normally think to like split the classes up or split the specs up into even more splitting, right? Because you have the roles
yeah,
and then you
yeah,
have the class and then you have the spec and then you're gonna have the covenant with that as well. I mean, that's a very bold idea. But I
yeah.
I mean,
But
I don't know
it's
if it would be bad. I
that's
don't think it would be bad.
yeah. Like I don't necessarily want this to happen. I think it would just get kind of weird if that is how Warcraft logs did things. But there's a reason why you don't get a mage parse. You know what I'm saying? It gets broken down into your spec. You're not a mage, you're a frost mage. You get a frost mage parse. That makes sense. So why wouldn't it just go one layer deeper? You know what I mean? If Blizzard themselves is saying they are subclasses. We want them to be subclasses. They matter. Your choice matters. You can't really switch that easy. It kind of makes sense for there to be separated parses. Anyway, this doesn't really matter at the end of the day, but
Well, yeah,
maybe that'd
because
be
if you
like the
think about
interesting
it,
little
it's
number
kind of
to.
it's gonna be pretty shitty when you're a frost mage and you're like at the bottom of the barrel. You're actually doing really well. Like, you're hitting your buttons right, like, not getting hit by any mechans. Your uptime is crazy, but you pick, a frost mage necrolord. Like,
Yeah.
you're just see you later. Like, there's no, you can't be redeemed. There's no parsing for you. So you're gonna be at the bottom no matter how good you do, and that is kind of fucked because the like we talked about earlier, the Venthyr Covenant ability for Frost Mage single target is just a flat 8% better. It's like there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
So yeah, you might be right. That might be better. But again,
at least
ultimately,
something.
if you're doing less damn, you're doing less fucking damn, you're worse for the raid, right?
Yeah.
Like, ultimately, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter if you're getting 100 percentile in your shit. If you're doing 100 percentile and you're not beating a tank, then you need to switch. Like, that's, I don't know.
Anyway, that was just an interesting idea I had. I don't really want it to happen, but parses don't actually matter ultimately. Who cares? But I don't know. Interesting thought, I think. But
Heavy came in the chat. He didn't hear that. We gave him a shout out a little earlier, respecting all DHs, pouring one out for the homies that go DH right now because they're struggling. We respect you. We respect everything that you guys stand for. We appreciate you holding our guilds up on your shoulder. It's really nice of you.
Okay. I don't feel bad for Demon Hunters at all. Can I say that? Because they were the best, one of the best, if not the best spec in literally all content in BFA the entire time.
True.
They were the best.
True.
And you literally need one in Raid. You know what I mean? They were one of the best in Mythic Plus. They were obviously one of the best in PvP. They were one of the best in Raid. They're like unkillable. They're a blast to play. Demon Hunters, you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
I thought you were gonna say suck it.
Yeah, shut up. Yeah, no. You guys will be fine. You'll probably get a buff. Let's be honest. There's too many people that play Demon Hunter.
Everyone has a Demon Hunter. Everyone.
Yeah, probably the devs of the game play Demon Hunter. So you're probably gonna get buffed. You're not gonna be behind. You need one in the raid already anyway. You're gonna be fine. I think you guys got like a Mortal Strike in PvP. Like you needed something else in PvP.
Yeah.
Demon Hunter's gonna be fine. Like, yeah,
they're shit right now. It's called, maybe a slice of humble pie, but I respect what you guys are doing, staying in your guilds, manning up that role, making sure everyone else does good, even though, your numbers might be a little bit right now. So,
and maybe the sims are off, dude. Who knows? Like, maybe it's fine.
Maybe you're blasting.
Depends on the fight, dude. Maybe you're fine. Maybe your cooldowns line up. Wait,
what cooldown?
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, dude, we digress. What else do we want to talk about, dude? I mean, like, this week. Oh yeah, I wanted to go over.
Can we talk about the channel?
Yeah, dude. I'm glad.
Bro, listen. All right, so we gotta. You guys are here, so you guys know about the channel, the Ready Check Pull YouTube channel. Obviously, you're listening to this on the Ready Check Pull YouTube channel. This is crazy. 25K subs on YouTube. We went from 21K to 25K in like 4 days or whatever, 5 days. I don't know what it was.
Nowhere, dude.
Blasting through the subscription rate. We're about to hit our goal of 100 patrons before the raid even drops. How insane is the Ready Check Pull community for allowing that to be a thing? Dude, the dungeon guides. We made these dungeon guides in alpha. And they're popping off right now.
Yeah.
Like, the dungeon guys are getting tens of thousands of views. It is mind-boggling what's going on with the Ready Check Pull community. This is the greatest YouTube community in all of World of Warcraft. I don't give a shit, dude. It's taken off. The RCP Discord has like people come in and they ask questions. You're gonna get answers from all sorts of levels of play. It's amazing. hats off to all the Ready Check Pull people. I couldn't thank you guys enough. This shit is insane. I'm driving home from like, cause I do my little video camera work, day job shit that I do. I'm driving home and I'm like, I am fucking so happy that I'm gonna be eventually completely full-time Ready Check Pull, living the dream with the Ready Check Pullers. Woo! It's so sick.
Hell yeah. Yeah. I don't know if this is like whatever. It's gotten to the point where like, because you can see our growth, right? You can go to the websites that track, subs and whatever. It's gotten to the point where even Icy Veins, like the people we're partnered with Icy Veins with the raid guides and stuff like that. Even they message us every once in a while and they're like, "Hey, did you know that your subs went up?" But they're like, "What's going on? Like, what did y'all do?" Even Icy Veins is surprised. They knew we were the shit, but now they're seeing it. And we knew that like things are gonna be good once Shadowlands comes out. It's fucking awesome that Shadowlands is actually good. But yo, this is crazy that it's actually happening, dude. Like people actually like our content. There's like 78 people listening to us right now. Why? Who are we,
Yeah,
man?
yeah. It's
Why are y'all listening to us?
and I can't listen. This is a goddamn dream. We get to talk about WoW with a bunch of people who love talking about WoW. It couldn't be happier. Making these raid guides took so much time, but to see the comments of people who share them with their guild, people who recommend them to friends and other people that they play with, like it's insane the amount of like love we're getting from the community. It's insane.
Let's go. And the raid guides are like they're out, dude. They're just sitting there. Not many people make raid guides before the raid comes out, right? So the raid guides are just sitting there, dude. We're about to see
You were just telling me today
you guys are
that
about to see it blow up.
we're the only ones right now with a official channel guide. So that means like our guide, it's not the alpha, it's not a beta footage, it's not whatever. It's like an actual guide from start to finish of Stone Legion General, Sludge Fist, and Sire Denathorus. The only channel right now. That is wild.
And those bosses are no joke. So
hard to make a guide for those. Oh,
if when you get to those bosses and you haven't seen a guide, you're gonna start looking for a guide, and there's not gonna be one there.
Yeah, but what if you want to look for?
And then you're gonna know.
What if you want to look for third phase footage for either Stone Legions or Sire? Like,
yeah, good luck.
Yeah, good luck. It's not there, but you can find the animation at Ready Check Pull.
Yeah, baby. We know what to do. But yeah,
oh God!
It goes without saying that dude, that we are insanely hyped right now. Like this is, I've never, the beginning of an expansion is always sick, right? And Shadowlands is making it even sicker, right? Like I can think about WoW all day, but the fact that Ready Check Pull is like popping off too, dude. On top, like I would be equally as excited and crazy about Ready Check Pull, but they're happening at the same time. My brain is just like, I don't know, dude. This is wild. I gotta calm down, dude. And dude, raiding is about to start. Oh my God.
Yep.
We're gonna be like
big raids.
Oh my God, dude.
One of the, by the way, raids that we've tested and we know are going to be sick. Raids that we already know are going to be great. There's no behemoth. There's no fucking waiting on a fight like Zakul. There's none of this. Oh shit, there might be. Oh, Artificer. Fuck.
Yeah, we'll see.
Fuck.
We'll see.
Fuck. Anyways, scratch what I said there.
Sick, actually.
Yeah, well, Zakul was cool, but I know you had a big issue. I didn't really mind it that much, to be honest, but you had a big issue with the DPS stopping.
Yeah.
Anyways, dude, love you guys. I know you guys hate when I say it. I get comments all the time. I would take out the love you guys piece, but I fucking do. I don't care. Whatever. I'm going to continue saying it when it's my video and Zach's doesn't, make me change it.
Wait, why does it sound like you're doing an outro right now, dude?
I'm not. I'm just hyped. I'm not. We still got 13 more topics to go through.
Sorry, I hear you say I love you, and I think the video's ending. My bad.
Well, oh yeah. So if I'm around you, dude, and I'm talking to my phone, and I'm talking to my wife. Hey, all right, well, talk to you later. Love you. You're like, oh, you're doing an outro?
Yeah. And then the music's gonna drop.
Yeah. You just turn the music up as I tell my wife bye. What an asshole. Duck, 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 bow.
Yeah, I already hear it, dude. But yeah.
Well,
Anyway, I
we're
wanted to.
pulling.
I don't know how to segue out of that hype, dude. But we wanted to talk about. Well, I wanted to go over my legendary math that I was doing to try to like help people wrap their heads around like how many legendaries you're gonna have access to and like upgrades you might have or whatever. And we also wanted to talk about about raid stuff, like maybe our
Yep.
predictions for the raid or like the kill order or just what we think's gonna go on. Try to help out a little bit there. But okay, so legendaries, right? So everybody should be at what is it, 1520? I think 1520 Soul Ash. If
15,
you haven't
20
made a
legendaries.
if you haven't made a legendary, you should be at 1520 Soul Ash. If you haven't done like mission table stuff, that's like the minimum you should be at. We're gonna get another. I don't even remember the number. I guess I could pull it up. But we're gonna get enough so that next week, because 3 Torghast layers open next week, so that's over double the amount of Torghast layers that you have now. So there's gonna be a lot of Torghast next week, and which means a lot of time spent in Torghast. It might be like pretty difficult actually, especially if you try to do it like right at the beginning when you don't really have maybe enough item level to get through it. So uh we get 3 more layers of Torghast, which means we get more Soul Ash every week now. And we get like 2 more layers, I think, Mythic week. But next week, after all the Torghast
970
layers,
next week.
yeah, 970. We're gonna have we're gonna be 10 Soul Ash away from being able to make 2 legendaries, 2 like rank 1 legendaries, which there's probably gonna be another weekly quest that gives you however much from Bolvar. So you'll almost certainly be able to make 2 rank 1 legendaries next week. So
Yep.
already you can, if you're the legendary making type, I'm gonna wait. But if you want to make a legendary, you can already have 2. You can already cover more bases if you want to. Make one and wait on the other one or something. I don't know. Or you can next week you can make a legendary and then upgrade it if you want. If you're like just buying in, dude. If you're just just don't care, dude. This is legendary I want. You can do it. So you can get a rank 2 next week if you wanted to. And then and I don't know the number that you'll be at, but and then the following week on Mythic Week, you'll 2 more layers of Torghast will open up. That's all the layers, and you'll be getting like almost an entire legendary's worth of Soul Ash every single week. You'll get 1140 every week,
Yep.
and they cost 1250. So you can almost get a legendary every single week of this expansion, which is kind of crazy. And the upgrade costs are kind of weird, but you'll be able to upgrade them pretty quick too. So, let's see. So, what is it? Yeah, Mythic Week, you can upgrade. Uh, if you just make 1 legendary, you can get all the way to rank 3 on Mythic Week. If you just buy all the way into 1 legendary, like Windwalker, for instance, I'm probably gonna do that. You might be able to make 3 legendaries depending on the quests or whatever. Three rank 1 legendaries should just be sitting there. I could play 3 specs, dude. Mythic Week, if that's the play.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have the
So
total
some stuff
opposite
going on.
problem with the mage is I'm gonna have like 13 rank 1s. So I'm gonna have to have 32 different legendaries rank 1. But I don't give a shit because you get them so fast. So
Yeah.
every week I'll be able to get like a new legendary if I want to, and I'm sure they're gonna add some more systems where it says as to what you get at Soul Ash from. So yeah, it's all gonna be great. It's all going to be
Yeah.
great, and I'd
That's
rather
cool.
have more legendaries, different play styles to like switch in different specs than to rank one up. But it does kind of suck that I won't be able to rank one up.
Yeah, we'll see, dude. Heroic Week tuning might come through, and it might be real obvious. Ranking one up.
True.
You never
Well,
know.
yo, here's a
This,
good
this
question.
heroic tuning might be wild.
When do you think we're
Right.
going to get a second legendary? Because they're going to do it, right? Like they have to.
Oh, like be able to equip a second one? You're saying?
Yeah. I mean, do you think there's like some combos that maybe they can't do it? Like if you have the arcane missiles buffs your arcane barrage by 100%, and then you have the arcane barrage execute at 130%, and then you arcane barrage something for 30,000, that might be real weird.
Yeah, it could get crazy. Is your internet okay, dude?
I don't know why. Is it fucked up?
Is the stream okay? It's
It
doing
says it's
weird stuff
okay.
for me. Okay, well, I hope it's okay. Uh,
Hmm.
you never know with the internets.
Yeah, I have no idea. Oh yeah, now
Yeah.
it's saying poor. It's saying poor right now. Should we
Man.
pause? Should we pause for a minute?
No, I think we just keep going, bro. We just go with the flow. Sorry,
Okay.
live listeners.
Yeah,
Uh,
sorry guys.
but yeah, I don't know when we're gonna get to. I mean, I would assume like it's a pretty. Maybe it's next patch. I don't know because we'll be getting tier sets at some point. You know what I'm saying? Like we'll be getting. They said that we're gonna have tier sets, which is crazy, and yeah, being able to have 2 legendaries on top of tier sets, on top of all the covenant stuff we're getting, the conduits, it's gonna be a lot. So they might wait a while. I don't know. They probably won't let you have 2 legendaries and tier sets at the same time. You know what I mean? Maybe they
Yep.
stagger those. So I don't know
Yeah,
what's
yes.
gonna be next.
Sorry everyone about the thing. I think YouTube is telling me that it's excellent quality now. If you can hear me, but it's like stuttering, then maybe try refreshing. But yeah, we'll keep going. So your plans right now are you're just going with the flow. You're gonna be stuck. You're going into heroic, having fun, playing different specs, seeing what feels good. Hopefully the monk pops off, and then you're gonna be
Yeah,
making your legendary after you see logs, after you see what's going on with the balancing, and you're just going to save up your soul ash, and then you'll figure out how you're spending it. That's what your
yeah,
plan is.
exactly. Yeah, just delaying all decisions until Mythic Week, until after they've done
Right.
tuning and all that stuff. We see the heroic statistic and all that good stuff because I think it's gonna be a big surprise. But also next week, my plan, like this Tuesday, it's coming up really fast. My plan, dude. So before, my guild raids heroic, we're doing like heroic and normal splits and crazy stuff. Um, but what I want to do is as soon as the uh the reset happens, you know, I'm gonna go straight into Mythic Plus. I don't know about you guys. I think you can only get up to like maybe normal raid item level or near that, which you'll replace pretty quickly, especially the following week once like actual Mythic Plus comes out. You'll be able to replace all the gear. But if you are the type that wants to like pop off in heroic, well, you'll probably make a legendary. But without a legendary, the play, I think, is as soon as reset happens, you just jump into Mythic Plus. You start, maybe you get like an armor stack or something if you want to get crazy. But I think you get right into Mythic Plus. You start getting upgrades from Mythic Plus because the all the
What
weekly
else
stuff,
is there to do? And that's so much
well,
fun. Like you got to
yeah.
think about the
So
fun. No one thinks about the fun. That is the fun right there.
Mythic Plus is yeah, it's gonna be brand new, dude. So you want to go in there anyway. But more importantly, you don't get any like player power from the weekly stuff. Like if you're not making a legendary, you don't get anything from doing Torghast. If I think we get 3 levels of renown at most. Maybe it's 2. I don't. I'm pretty sure it's 3. But almost nobody. It's like 1% of the choices that you can make will change. Because at level 9 renown, you unlock nothing damage wise. You get like endurance conduits, finesse conduits, you know what I mean? Which don't increase your damage. You don't get any main stat. You get nothing from all the weekly pretty much. Like it's very if it's only if you're a night fae and you want to play the Dreamweaver because it unlocks a versatility buff that's like slightly better than what you already have. It's like very unlikely that's gonna do anything for you. So I think the play is you jump into Mythic Plus right at reset, and then
Find a
you
stat
get
group if you
conduits.
can.
Yeah, you get conduits that you're missing. Maybe you unlock a legendary if you want to make a legendary. You get a legendary from Mythic Plus. Whatever. You get some gear. You could get like you could become like 10% stronger. You know what I mean? Like you could upgrade pretty big before heroic, which is going to make your heroic experience easier if you want to have an easier heroic experience, especially if you make legendaries. Even if you do Torghast and make a legendary, you should still jump into Mythic Plus. Like that's such a huge priority. for like making the first week of heroic and everything
I mean,
easier.
I
I
already
think
talked to a bunch of guildies, dude. We're planning on Tuesday as soon as reset hits. There's a bunch of people already taking time off for raid, even if it's just a day or two. Some people are even have the whole week off. But raiding is it's like such a fucking iconic time in World of Warcraft that we're gonna be on. We're gonna be ready. We're all good. We're trying to figure out. All right, so we're gonna have one tank. 4 clothies. Some people are going to do full leather groups, full plate groups. Like I think that is going to be the best. Like anyone who's like, well, you got to min max your renown, fucking wah. That shit can wait. Boring. I'm going right into Mythic Plus. Then I'm going right into Raid. I'm going to go to bed with my eyes bleeding and I'm going to be about 30 fucking eye levels higher. It's going to be great.
it's gonna be great, dude. So true.
I'm waking up early,
But
12 p.m., dude. Early.
wait. But yeah, I guess, and then speaking of the raid, dude, I guess we can get into like some little predictions or whatever we want to talk about with the raid, bro.
All right, yeah. Send in any questions that you have. We can. I mean, if this, if the stream holds up, I don't know what the hell's going on right now, but if yeah, send in any questions that you have. We'll answer some questions if there are any. If not, we'll end a little early, whatever. But yeah, let's talk about some predickies.
Okay, don't call it that.
Let's talk about some
All right.
predickers.
All right, time for our predickies segment of the podcast.
Oh
But yeah,
god.
so I think your guild and maybe I don't know what my guild is probably doing some crazy split stuff, but I think for like most guilds, I think it's gonna make sense to go into normal first and then do heroic. I
That's what
think
we're
for
doing. Yep.
most guilds, even like pretty like relatively high end guilds, if you're not doing splits, just go into normal for not gonna be able to trade much of anything anyway. So I think like going into normal, we're how do I say it? My guild's not gonna do this, but I don't know how to say it. I think going into normal, learning the fights, getting loot, getting legendaries. If you're gonna make legendaries, you can get them from normal.
Cruising
Probably
easy, stress free.
they might even be guaranteed from normal. I don't know. So you can get legendaries, you can get conduits, you can get all like crazy power increases from normal, and learn all the fights. Yeah, like you said, and then go into heroic, and you'll be like way like ridiculously better equipped for heroic. So I mean, for 90% of guilds, I would suggest going into normal first. That's probably what you guys are going to do anyway. And I'm just saying it makes a lot of sense. It's definitely the
Yep.
play, especially since gear is like way more rare now. Like Mythic Plus gear, you're going to be holding on to for a while. Normal gear, you're going to be holding on to for a while. It's going to be hard to get fully kitted out with heroic, because you can't trade anything from it, above Mythic Plus gear. You're not going to be able to trade anything, dude. So yeah, normal into heroic is definitely the play, especially if you're making legendary.
Yeah,
Um,
I am in a guild that I would say is probably the majority of cutting edge raiders is where I'm at, right? Like we're at the pace where I feel we raid 3 days, 3 hours, that's 9 hours a week. That's a lot for an average non-gamer, but I think that's a decent amount for cutting edge guild. And then you have to be ready. We have standards and all that shit, right? So we're not doing what your guild is doing, where you guys raid at an insanely high level. You guys make sure that you min max everything. You have 3 different fucking mages, making sure that you're every covenant that you possibly can be. All this other shit, right? We're not doing all that, and we're cutting edge raiders, right? Like we've got cutting edge fucking every time, like since we've been a guild, and a lot of the same old people are back together. So I would say we're pretty damn good players in the guild that I'll be raiding in, and we're going into normal because I find the only positive from going into a heroic first is that you get to trade gear in normal, which always just seemed a little weird to me, because as soon as Mythic Plus comes out, you're going to be basically getting rid of all, like, the real Mythic Plus comes out. You're going to be getting rid of most of that gear anyways. And that whole backwards thing, just like heroic's going to be fucking more difficult than it needs to be. We're already not crafting legendaries. Like, it's just, it makes no sense to go into heroic, wipe, and then only get half the bosses done. If, you know, let's say it is that difficult, which it probably won't be, but let's say we get 9 bosses done and we don't get the 10th that we would have. It's better to clear out normal and then go do heroic. And if we don't get heroic done, fuck, like, have a little fun little, you know, semi-pug, semi-guild group at the end of the week if we wanted to do something like that, or just start it on Tuesday, start heroic fresh on next Tuesday. Not a big problem, and it makes it so it's so much less stress to have to deal with, you know, the raid, also the bugs. Who knows what kind of bugs are going to be in the raid?
Yeah.
Have no idea. And if you're already struggling on
Tuning, yeah.
mechanics and then lagging happens, or like some mechanic just blows everyone up and we're like, oh, do we suck? It's like, maybe we should have went into normal. It's like, just go to fucking normal. It's like, you have a relaxed time, it'll be fine. No
Yeah.
legendaries, you know, sit back, chill. That's the plan. That's the plan for us.
Yeah. I'm gonna try my best to just enjoy the time. Not trying to parse, you know. I gotta perform, right, but like not trying to lose my mind over my damage. You know what I mean? We're learning fights, bro. Just enjoy.
Yep.
'Cause
Yep.
this raid is sick, and there's 10 bosses. There's
There's yeah.
10 bosses in this first raid, and they're all sick. But what do you? Okay, so as far as kill order, so this is all gonna be, you know, determined along the
Yeah,
way.
that's a weird question that people have been asking us. Like, which order do we go to the bosses in? It's like,
Yeah,
it's
so
like weird.
it's
Like,
a, it's a
when has
little
that ever came
this
up?
raid. Yeah, this raid's a little bit weird. Where, well, I mean, I guess it kind of makes. But so there's 10 bosses. There's a first boss. There's 2 wings, and then there's 3 end bosses in a row. So the only weird part is the 2 wings. So you do Shriek Wing, and then you can go.
You do the shriek wing?
Yeah, yeah, you do. Oh god. So, so you do the first boss, and then you either go left or right. Basically, you can go left to Huntsman Altamore, Hungering Destroyer, and then Lady in Dark Darkvein, or you can go to the right and go to Sun King Salvation or Artificer Zymox, and then once those are dead, you can go to Council of Blood. So the 2 like end of wing bosses are, yeah, Lady in Darkvein and Council of Blood. Either way, you're gonna have to like run all the way from one wing back to the other. You know what I mean? So like travel time might end up being kind of significant doing that kind of thing. But also I
What
don't know
would
what
you
the
rather
trash is
do?
gonna look like. But here's what I think. This is what I think the kill order is gonna be. So I think that they've done a really good job with like the difficulty pacing, or like the difficulty scaling. I don't know what the word is. The difficulty progression of the raid. I think it's gonna be very clear that like Shriekwing's easy or whatever's the first boss, it'll probably be easy. And then in the dungeon journal, it tells you to go to Huntsman Altamore. So
Yup.
Huntsman Altamore is probably the next easiest boss. So you go to Huntsman Altamore, which is a cool fight. And then I think you're just going to continue down that wing, because Hungering Destroyer is just a single target fight. There's some, you know, craziness going on in it, but ultimately, like, he hits you, you hit him, you deal with mechanics, it's over. It's not no crazy like add wave management fight or anything. Um, and then I think, despite the like Artificer Zymox and Sun King Salvation maybe being easier, I think you're still just gonna do Lady Dark Darkvein, because it is like a end of wing boss. Um, but I think
She's
it's
gonna be
like
a
pretty
tough one.
manageable.
Yeah, she'll
Yeah,
be a
but
tough boss, especially with the geometry aspect of a heroic. But it's not gonna be like, I still feel like Sun King has the chance to be harder than Dark
yeah,
Vein.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
if tuning is how wacky it was in beta, there's a good chance that Sun King is, there's something's might be wrong, right?
Yeah,
Like, there
that
might be
fight
something wrong with Sun King for sure.
yeah, that fight was actually impossible in like beta testing, or you know, at least on Mythic and stuff like that. So there might be some funky stuff. It's like an ad wave thing, and like all ad wave
With a
fights
weird
ever.
new mechanic too.
Yeah, true. You progress the fight by healing, which is like super funky. So it's like a really funky fight that could be difficult. Um, but yeah, so I think you're gonna go from Shriekwing. I think you're gonna go to Huntsman, and then you have to go to Hungering Destroyer, and then Lady in Darkvein, and then I think you're gonna come all the way back, and you do either Artificer or Sun Kings. Artificer's pretty straightforward. You'll probably start with that, and then you can't do Council yet until you do Sun King. So you do Sun King, and Sun Kings is the weird one.
Yep.
Like we were, you have to heal him to progress the fight. It's an ad wave fight, which like I was gonna say, ad wave fights are always more like seem if they feel more difficult than the than like regular boss fights because
Yep,
you're
yep.
like learning the ad wave timings and like all the ads and all that. So there's like more to learn, but once you like become familiar with it and like once you get more gear, they become like absolute jokes. You know, you kill the wave before they can do anything, kind of stuff, and you're just sitting there waiting. So I think Sun Kings might be kind of a surprise difficulty wise.
I
It could
agree.
also
I agree with that. Yeah.
it's like one of the first bosses you can go to. It might kind of flop, who knows? But and then I think you're gonna do
By the
Ken.
way, while we're talking, we're looking at the Castlanathia PDF. It's in. I'll relink it in the Ready Check Pull thing, so you guys can like follow along with this like mechanics and shit if you want to.
Link it in the chat, dude.
Oh, I can link in the chat. That's true. Let me do that.
Yeah, dude. But
Boom.
I
All
think
right,
you're gonna
boom.
do Council of Blood. I think you're gonna do uh as like the last wing boss or whatever. And then you have to go to Sludge Fist, Stone Legion Generals, Siren Denathrius. You gotta do those in order. Which Sludge Fist, dude. Sludge Fist might be crazy. Because
Bro, Sludge Fist
as far
might
as I
knock
know,
the fucking tanks out, dude. Might
yeah,
actually
Sludge
knock the
Fist.
tanks out.
It's the it's you have to do it to move on. And you unlock him after killing everything else. He's also the boss that you skip to, I think, eventually. There is a raid skip in this raid, which is dope. There's 10 bosses, there better be a raid skip. Um,
That
but
is
yeah,
dope, yeah.
Sludge Fist is gonna be like he is the like gear check, so to speak.
It's the
He has a
budge.
hard and he has a hard and rage, so you gotta pump the DPS. He also has an enrage at like 20%, so like the damage is gonna get crazy at the end. Um, and so like the healing is gonna ramp up. It's gonna be a healer check ultimately. And it's like a hard mechanics check. It's super punishing with the chain link mechanic. Like you
Yep.
instantly die if you mess it up. Uh, and it like both tanks get hit by his melee swings the entire time. So
Yeah,
like,
there's
it's
no
not like
tank taunt swap. It's you taunt swap when you run out of active mitigation. Like that's when you taunt. It doesn't even matter either because both of you are
you
getting
can't.
smashed. And then
Yeah,
so basically the main tank is going to be the one with the better movement to get behind a pillar faster. But other than that, you're both just getting smashed the whole time. And then the more pillars you break, there's 4 of them. You break a pillar like every few minutes. At 1 minute and 45 seconds, I think Zach said. But it's like every few
yeah,
minutes you break.
that wasn't even close.
Shit. So you break the pillars, and then by the 4th pillar, your healers are already pumping the raid. Plus the tanks are getting smashed. This fight is wild.
It's gonna be the gear check for sure. Because it's pretty simple. Like for a lot of the fight, you can just stand there and hit him. Like once you see what's going on, it's like pretty simple. But God, yeah, hard and rage, a lot of healing. Tanks are getting crushed. Very punishing.
And then on Mythic, you
Instant
got the
death
extra
mechanics.
like
It's gonna be tough.
pillar breaks, and you got to go under the thing and soak the rock in the. Oh God.
Yeah, and literally everybody is chained. Yeah, that's gonna be a crazy mythic. But then you go. So once you get past that, maybe they tune it so that it's not like some insane gear check thing. Who knows how that's gonna go? But then you get to Stone Legion and Sire Denathrius, which are two wild fights, bro.
Yep. Yep.
Especially I don't even want to think about Mythic, dude. It's gonna be even crazier on Mythic. But they're two like three full-fledged 3-phase fights with intermissions. Like they are full-fledged fights. They are no joke. So those are gonna like, bro. I don't even know how people are gonna make guides for those, man. Like nobody saw, like we were saying earlier, nobody saw phase 3 for Denathrius. Nobody, as far as we could find, saw phase 3 or even 2 of Stone Legion Generals. So
Because,
like
bro,
those fights are
listen,
gonna be no joke, bro.
the Stone Legion generals, like phase 1's mechanics are pretty crazy. Like there's just a lot of shit going on. Just there's a spread out mechanic that wipes your raid. There's a soak mechanic that wipes your raid. There's like there's like ads that or whatever. I think I'm mixing Mythic up with the ads or whatever.
That's
But
Mythic,
there's there's like certain things that just wipe your raid, and then you go into the next phase, which is phase 2. There's like spikes that come out of the goddamn ground that could wipe your raid. There's a thing that you have to run away for. Then there's like intermissions where you have to bring all these like orbs to a dude that could wipe the raid if you don't get it all done. And then at phase 3, you have to do all of it at the same fucking time. It's like, what the? This is gonna be wild.
Yeah, it's a lot.
All right, all right,
Uh,
all right, all right. So you want to go through some questions real quick, or do you want to? What do you want to do?
I gotta go play Shadowlands pretty soon here. I had to schedule my like cloth stack, dude. So we're
Hell
about
yeah,
to
hell
go
yeah,
about to go get my mage some gear, bro. So yeah, we're
hell
gonna
yeah.
wrap up pretty soon here. But yeah, we just want to see yeah, but just to finish up there, I guess. Stone Legion General's gonna be crazy. Sire Denathir is gonna be crazy. I don't know what's gonna be best in the raid, dude. It's like all up in the air. These sims are telling me all kinds of things I'd never expected. So I don't even have any predictions for you for like what's gonna be good, honestly, other than like Hunter, Hunter, probably Unholy DK. But
Fire
like
mage.
the way this raid is, it's not like multi daughters aren't going to dominate this raid for I mean maybe they will for tuning reasons, but they're not going to dominate it for like multi-dotting reasons. So like everybody, literally every spec has the opportunity to be good in this raid, and I think that's so sick because it's like a lot of single target, which every
Mostly
spec can
single
do.
target.
It's a whole lot of single target. And then if there is ever any AoE, well, like Sun Kings is kind of like the AoE fiesta. But if there's ever AoE, it's stacked cleave, which like
Yep.
pretty much every spec in the game can do. So I don't know. It's gonna be determined by tuning, I think. And then, we'll have to play it by ear from there.
Yeah, I have no idea
Uh
who's going to be doing best. I know that it's like you just said. There's no fight where it's just like, well, you can't bring melee. There's no fight like that. There's
yeah.
really no fight where you're going to be asked out if you're any specific spec. There's also no fight where I don't think there's a fight where you require like grips or anything like that. It's just good fights,
Right.
well
Yeah.
designed, no shenanigans. Just back to the basics of just like, is it hard because you have to do a bunch of shit? Yes or no? It's like, and I'm kind of happy that they went back to that. They're obviously gonna, make it a little bit more intricate for the next raids. But these ones are exactly where I wanted a first raid to be, 100%.
Yeah, I could not be more excited, dude. I think we gotta skip the question time, but dude, I unbelievably hyped about the expansion, about how well Ready Check Pull is doing. The raid's coming out, dude. It's looking good. Mythic Plus, dude, I'm excited for. Prideful is a sick Mythic Plus affix. There's so much to be happy about, and bro,
All right, hey,
I'm about
listen, guys. Happy to have you
to
guys
see.
here. We're gonna cut this a little bit short because Zach's running a little bit late. For once, it's his fault, not mine. Blame him. Write him in
Okay.
the chat at Zach's your questions in the Ready Check Pull channel. He'll get back to you anytime he can. But no, it's all good. It's all love. Yeah, thanks guys so much. We're at 90 views right now, which is fucking insane. We try to do this every Friday. We try to post it up every Saturday so you guys can watch it on your drives to work and things like that. Thanks so much for checking us out. And hey, the raid guides are out. We got the little strategy quick guide that I posted in there that's out, and we're also going to be making a couple little content things here and there throughout the week of Heroic coming out. And then also, if you have any questions, you can just ask us in the Ready Check Pull channel.
Yeah.
All right, thanks guys.
True.
See you next week.